At this point, you should have your basic page structure set up for your 3 pages, but you're going to need at least an image on each page. Now, I really do prefer if you use your own images, but it's okay if you use outside images so long as you respect copyright, and that's a really critical, important thing. So this we're going to get more into copyright later, but right now, if you want to use images, I highly recommend that you go to Pixabay, and it has things that are free to use anywhere. So let's take, and these are usually Creative Commons, which means that you're allowed to use them. We'll have a little exercise on Creative Commons coming up. But I want to do one on weightlifting. So I can go out here and I can find an image that I like. And lots of good images. I just want one of an empty gym. So I'm going to get the free download. I want it at the smallest size because when we upload it, since I'm not using it as a background image for the whole page, if you upload the large size, you upload it and then you resize it. So all that information that you need for the bigger picture gets uploaded and downloaded by the user. So it wastes a lot of time and space. So I want the smallest one that for the size I'm actually going to use. So I'm going to download it and I'm going to save the file and I'm going to hit OK. So you can link back. That's a nice thing you can do. You don't have to credit. These are, let's see where it ended up. Let's go into my, I want to go into my downloads. And so here it is. This is not a friendly name. I'm going to rename it. Notice you do have the option to rotate it here if you have something that comes in funky. So I'm going to call it weight lifting. Make sure you spell it right. Machines.jpg. And then I'm going to open up my Web 105 folder. And I'm going to drop it into the HTML project. Great, it's there. Let's go through that one more time. And let's do something for and let's see if we can find sort of cycling I do. And that would be sort of what I do. I'm going to save the file. And I'm going to go out to my downloads. Oh, that should have refreshed. Let's go check that again. There we go. And I'll rename this. And then I will drag that over into the same folder here. Okay, so now I've got my images. And I can close this. You can also grab stuff off of Facebook, things like that. We'll have a little exercise on that in the next unit. So I've got all my files in here. The names, let's make sure those are coming up right. Sometimes you get a double extension when I do renaming. So I want to go back out into here, into my HTML project. Oops, yep, double name. So let's rename that again and get rid of the extra extension off the end. That will break it. Again, lowercase. And there we go. So now I can add those images. So I'm going to go into my, let's get these out of the way. But we want to style our images a bit. So let's make sure I'm okay. I'm on the cycling page, and let's just add it here above the text. So I'm going to do the IMG, and it's going to ask for the source. I'm just going to start typing, and then it'll let me pick the correct one. Alt tag is what would appear if we didn't have the images display. So if the image is missing or images are turned off, this is what would display. And it can be useful for your search engine optimization. All right, and so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to test it. Not bad, not bad. Don't like the size. So I can generically style all of my image sizes in my CSS. That should be a colon. And that should center it. So let's save that. Let's go out here. Let's refresh. It's not doing what I want it to do. So let's close that. That's the wrong one. Okay, so that didn't center it, but it did get it to the right size. We'll worry about centering it later. There's another setting we need to do to make that actually work for the images that I forgot about it. We have to change one of its other settings. So for right now, don't worry about centering your images. We will do that coming up. But that's a decent and appropriate looking page. So we do the same thing for the weightlifting. Now this changes all the images on the site. This is not always a good way to do this. Typically I would actually have styles for images where we could name them. So I'd have like small, medium, large. So I'd have different ways of styling it, but we're not that far yet. So I'm going to go into my weightlifting machine. Nope, I want the weights HTML. And again, I'm going to put that image in, IMG tag, and then I'm going to start typing in weight lifting machine. There we go. And alt tag empty gym with weights. I'm going to save everything, file save all, or Control S. I'm going to go out here and refresh, and I need to go to the correct page. And I have now a basic outline for my site. Now you'll need to put in real content, and you're going to need to do some of the other things that you've learned as far as styling and italics and various things like that. So you'll want to read the requirements. This is just giving you a basic way to get started with the project, which is where most people struggle. So this lets you put in some real content. Don't use the lorem ipsum. You might want to center your H2 tags. You might want to play with this some more, but this gives you a good start on how to get 3 pages working together linked to an external style sheet.